Joe, that's a bite, that's a bite. Well, it's pretty much a case of rinse and repeat at the moment. Dealt with the fish, back out, 5 minutes, and we're in again. Welcome to the banks of Royston Lake, where the Carpology boys have joined me halfway through my 48-hour session, where I'm here to tell you exactly how I go about catching carp using our run leg clip on adjustable zig fishing. They've been so good, in fact, I've got 2 carp down in the slings, so let's go take a look at them now. Oh, hey, there we go. That first bite with a very respectable 32-pound, 10-ounce common. One of the proper beasts that reside here in Wood Lake. There's a fair few 30s in here now, certainly not long before it does a 40-pounder. I feel very blessed to have caught this one on the adjustable zig using the run leg clip, which I'll talk to you no doubt about throughout this video. But what a way to start the session. And there we have number 2. Not as big as the other one. Am I complaining? Certainly not. A nice mirror, over the 20-pound mark though, so a really good average size. And fingers crossed things carry on exactly as they have been. For now though, I'm gonna get him back and show you exactly how I caught these 2 carp. Wood Lake here at Royston is the perfect venue to be using adjustable Zig rigs. It's very deep, which means that when the first spring sunshine comes around, the fish spend a lot of their time in the upper layers, and you want to be able to fish for them without using ridiculously long fixed zigs in excess of 20 foot. So an adjustable zig gets around that. Adjustable zig fishing is something that I don't see a lot of people doing. Now, it might just be because you're lacking in confidence of using it, or you might have had a negative experience when trying it before, because they can be a little bit fiddly and very prone to tangling. We actually now do a run lead clip zig kit, which makes them very, very easy to use for a number of different reasons. First of all, let's take a look at the main component in the pack. Now, this is the run lead clip. It was originally designed for being able to drop the leads whilst using running rigs. So essentially, when the line is slack, it can freely move through, but as soon as there's tension on the line, so there's tension from both ends, it becomes fixed to the line and the lead is able to discharge if need be. So why is this useful on adjustable zigs? Well, beforehand, it was very, very difficult to drop the lead on an adjustable zig, which means that when you're playing the fish in, you've got a section, you've got your zig float with the lead attached to it, and then a section of your hook length, usually in excess of 3 foot. So you're never really in direct contact with the hook hold, which is inside the carp's mouth. Now, by no means do you have to drop the lead all the time, but on venues such as this one, when it is barbless, I much prefer to be in direct contact with that hook hold because I think that results in less hook pulls. The real massive benefit for me though, with these run leg clips is that you very, very rarely suffer tangles without the use of PVA tape or PVA foam. Previously, if you're using a traditional adjustable zig, you use a piece of tape or foam and you nick your hook into the side of the float, and even then sometimes you'd suffer some tangles. I've cast this well over 20 times since I've been here, and I have not had a single tangle, and that's with using 6 foot hook lengths. And that for me makes them really easy to use. So every time I cast out, I feel them down to the bottom, they peel off the reel with no problems as they come to the surface, and I know 99% of the time that rig is not tangled and they're going to be fishing, which previously was always in the back of my mind when using the traditional adjustable zig method. So how exactly do you set one up? Because it might look a little bit tricky to begin with. Well, first of all, start by taking the run leg clip and sliding this onto your main line with the towel rubber end first. Use glasses if you can't see. So the run clip section feeds onto the line first. On a side note, I'm using 15-pound zig float as my main line. I want to be as inconspicuous as possible because obviously that is sticking vertically up from the bottom on an adjustable zig. So having a nice, very inconspicuous main line helps to make sure those carp don't get too spooked. You'll then notice it comes with a little rubber buffer bead. Make sure you slide this on with the thin section going through the line first, because the thick section means that you can push that over the end of the adjustable zig float. So once you've put those 2 components onto your main line, you then need to take your zig float, thin end first, and then slide that onto your main line like so. I always prefer to use a size 8 quick change uni swivel, which means I can have my hook link sections tied up in advance. I like fishing them 6 foot because I think that's a good separation between the float and the hook baiters to not spook the carp. So that's the reason why I choose a quick change swivel. This is a size 8 uni quick change swivel, as I mentioned, and then I tie that on using a Palomar knot. Okay, so once you've attached your swivel, you want to pull that into the barrel of the top end, and that just sits in tight. Make sure that is nice and tight, because obviously if that was loose, it means it's going to be free running. Make sure that sits nice and tight in there like so, and that is most of it sorted. Then take the buffer bead that it comes supplied with and push where you've put it on the right way. You'll notice there's enough space for that to push over the end of the Zig float, which just offers a nice bit of protection so the lead isn't butting up against the stiff part of the float. And then you can slide the run lead clip down, and then obviously we'll have to attach our lead before we cast out, but that is how the setup looks. It might look slightly strange, but I can assure you that that will float to the surface, the lead will sit on the bottom, and under slack the Zig float rises to the top so effortlessly with no tangles, giving you extreme peace of mind. That's what's sorted and attached to your main line and your rod, and then really all you've got to do now is tie up a traditional Zig, because that's what's going to be attached to the end of the Zig float. I like to use, as I mentioned, 6 foot, so I start by taking some 10-pound Zig flow, sliding on one of our Zig screws. My favourite combination, and the one that's been working for me on this trip, is a yellow Zig screw with black foam. I've always liked the black and yellow combination. Some people like to change the colour of their foam, the colour of the Zig kicker, depending on the depth, the venue. For me, it's always my go-to, yellow Zig kicker, black foam, because it's just been the one that I've caught most fish on. And it's certainly proved it on this session as well. All my bites have fallen to that combination. Hook-wise, I'm using a size 8 floater claw, barbless, as that's the rules on this venue. And again, just tie that on using a Palomar knot. Pull the Zig screw down over the eye of the size 8 floater claw, just so the screw is just past the eye, and that gives you a nice wide gape on the rig there, as well as the kicker element coming into play to make sure that hook flips over and catches him in the bottom lip. Oh, I've just seen one show there. And the hook holes that I've had on this trip have actually been right bang centre in the bottom lip, which has been exactly where you want them to be. And then it's a case of measuring your Zig out. So the hook end's done. I know that from my chest area out once is 3 foot, so I'll measure that 1 spin, 2 spin, and then I know I've got 6 foot. A very important thing to not forget at this point is adding an XL anti-tangle sleeve. As I mentioned, it helps with the anti-tangle properties, but it also helps for you to spot your Zig float once you pop it to the surface, because you've got a stiff sleeve sticking out. And despite today on an overcast day with a clear anti-tangle sleeve, I can see that really well, especially through the binoculars. It's really easy to see when that's disappearing under the water. Like I mentioned, I know that's 6 foot now. So I'll secure this in place with a figure of 8 loop knot. Cut off a piece of black foam Attach that to the Zig screw. There you go, that's a winning hook bait combination. So now all I've got to do is attach my lead to the run lead clip. You'll notice that these clips come supplied with a rubber band, and this is essentially the same function as a tail rubber. If you don't want to lose the lead, push it over the latch that you secure your lead on. If you do want to drop the lead, you can push it on loosely, or you can actually move it completely, which is what I've been doing, sliding it all the way around the run clip. The lead still doesn't come off due to the angles that it enters the water. As long as you hit the clip or you stop the line before you're feeling it down, that lead will not come off until a fish is on the end. And there you have the adjustable Zig end. And all I've got to do is clip my Zig to this section and get ready to cast it out. And that is the adjustable Zig setup. Now, it may look cumbersome, but I promise you they are very, very effective. That's a bite, that's a bite. Right, okay. Middle part of the day, I've just seen one crash right on the other side of the lake there. It's got a little bit nippy. As you can tell, I've had to put a coat on. The wind is quite brutal. Luckily, we're on the back of it. And it doesn't feel very ziggy, or certainly less ziggy than it was yesterday and this morning. So what I've done is I've dropped this middle rod down a couple of foot, and middle part of the day, 1:30 in the afternoon, and we're into another fish. It's always a great sign. It is a middle rod, which makes it a little bit difficult when you've got three adjustable Zigs out there. So I can tell the lead's come off, which I need it to do, and the fish is up in the water as well, which, where there are a few snags present here at Royston, is another benefit of making sure that you land the fish safely. Oh, he's actually gone over this line, which is great news. Lovely. Oh, that's nice one, that. Nice linear. A bit bigger than I thought actually after I first saw him, but you saw them. Proof is in the pudding, adjustable Zigs. It's such a good way to catch them. Really, really enjoyed doing it, especially now we've got these kits. Well, it's turning out to be a very eventful day's fishing. My 4th bite since about 6 AM this morning. 3 landed, this one just going over the 27-pound mark, which again is a really, really good average size and a cool looking linear too. Got the tactics spot on, adjustable Zigs. The weather's got a little bit windy, a little bit overcast. All I had to do was take another 2 foot down on the reel. It took me a matter of seconds, and within the hour, this one was on the end. So a result so far, and I'm gonna say it, hopefully more to come. I'm gonna be a bit greedy. Greedy's good. Chuffed. So how exactly do you go about setting the depths of your adjustable Zig? Well, the first thing to do is cast out and let the float rise to the surface. Nice and slowly, you don't want it going too quick. Slowly let the line come off the spool using your finger, and then look out for it hitting the surface. Once it's hit the surface, you want to slowly turn the spool until you can see the float just about to disappear under the water. At this point, because you know the length of your hook link, you'll know how many feet you have to retrieve on your reel until your hook bait is just about to disappear under the water. In this instance, I'm using a 6 foot hook length, which means I need to retrieve 6 foot before I then go on to further set how far down from the surface I want to fish. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to retrieve 6 foot back onto the reel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I now know that my hook bait is just about to disappear under the water. I've had most of my bites at 4 foot, but I did have that last bite at 5 foot due to the changing conditions. So I'm going to repeat the process really, and move this rod down to 5 foot below the 5 foot below the surface column, and hopefully that is the depth that the fish are currently at. So another 5 foot to come back onto the reel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is good to go. That is fishing 5 foot below the surface column where I got that bite. And fingers crossed, we'll have another one to show you soon. Right, I'm currently attached to a tiny little carp that didn't give me much indication. It's actually gone through the other rod. It's always part and parcel that it can be a problem. Don't have a net. Well, check that one out. Certainly not the biggest fish in the lake, that's for sure, but a beautiful carp that I'm sure has a bright future ahead of him here in Wood Lake. It was a little bit hairy. That's the thing with adjustable zig fishing. You are fishing quite a lot of line out into the lake, especially when you've got 3 rods out. So if you do happen to go through the other line, the best thing to do is just open the bail arm on the other rod, don't panic. And most of the time they do find the back of the net and you can worry about the tangles and that afterwards. And it didn't take me too long, 5 minutes after that, to sort everything out and the rods are back out in position. So another welcome fish to the tally, a really beautiful one. And now we go into the evening. Well, it's pretty much a case of rinse and repeat at the moment. Dealt with the fish, back out, 5 minutes, and we're in again. That 4 foot below the surface seems to be the kill zone. And I think I've got another, yeah, not the biggest one, but another bite nonetheless. Hey, another one bites the dust. Number 5, which I'm certainly not complaining about. I'm not going to mess about with him too much, but I knock him in the net, get him slipped back, and hopefully there's a bigger one on the cards, because I started at the top and I've gone down in the pecking order, but we can soon change that, I'm sure. He's out there on the surface. Just seen me put that little one back. I slipped out the net, haven't even got the rod back out, and then the other rod's gone. So that's 2 bites in 5 minutes. It is starting to kick off. Things are going very much to plan. That's the sharpest bug you've ever eaten. Nearly missed on that one, but she's in the nets. Lovely. Number 6. Well, the scaly ones are certainly being very friendly this trip, of all shapes and sizes, but this one is very special indeed. Another 20-pounder, the 6th fish of the session, and things are really hotting up. We've really nailed that depth, we've really nailed the tactics, we've nailed the area, and we're nailing the carp. So, how long will it go on for? I don't know, but I'm not going to stop until they stop, or I have to go home. Anyway, what a result. Good morning, and it's a beautiful morning here today at Royston. The sun is up. I've watched the sun come up on the fields just behind me. It was a beautiful sunrise. It was about this time yesterday where things went a little bit mental. Will had a bite and I had a bite, and we both literally netted a fish within 5 seconds of each other. Will then lost one, and then it kicked off a little bit for me. I'm hoping it's going to do the same today. It's a little bit different, the conditions, but if it doesn't, I'm not complaining. I did manage one about 3 or 4 hours ago, just before it got bright this morning, which is down in the sling, just in front of the rods now, which I'll show you. A really nice, fully scaled, mid-20. And that's fish number 8 of the session. So even at night, adjustable zigs work. So, yeah, proof is in the pudding. It's been a really, really good session. It's like just over 24 hours for 8 fish, the bulk of those. So yeah, pucker time, really enjoyed it, and proof that adjustable zig fishing this time of year in the spring takes a lot of beating for me. fish number 8. And just as I didn't think they could get any scalier, this one comes along. He actually paid me a visit just before first light. And we're actually past the period yesterday where things were kicking off, so it might be the last fish of the shoot. That's 8 fish within 24 hours, all to the adjustable zigs. So I think that's concrete evidence to say that they are a super effective tactic. Not just this time of year, any time of year, but that first warm period when they're spending a lot of time in the upper layers in the spring, it's really, really deadly. Fantastic session here at Royston. I'll certainly be coming back soon with fish like this to offer. What a result, eh? Chuffed.